Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy, he is 30 years old, and he has definitely gone through a lot of hardships in his life. I mean, starting from when he was a kid in a dysfunctional family, then a lot of problems growing up, alcohol problems, you name it, to what he's been going through in the last few years in terms of it being betrayed in the worst possible way by not only his girl, and you're going to see more as I get into this, but also, wait for it, his best friend. And you're going to see in this story, guys, how, I mentioned this many times before, and I'll say it again. Guys, it's always bros before you can fill in the blank here. And in this situation, his bro from the military betrays him, and you can obviously connect the dots what's going to happen here, amongst many other things. And I'm doing this, guys, to show you, for a lot of you guys that are struggling out there, that grew up in a bad situation, bad family life, had a lot of problems growing up. I mean, you can't choose what family you're born into and raised and all that stuff like that, but you can choose as an adult how you get past these hardships and move on. And so you're not alone out there. There's plenty of guys out there that go through hardships and they struggle, but they get through it. This is one of them. Now this guy's doing well. He's on his purpose, making things happen for himself. It's a really good story, but you're going to see here how he struggles here. So for a lot of you guys going through tough times, this can help maybe motivate you to show you can get through it. And again, very important life lessons about female nature and human nature, because you're going to see how this guy's betrayed in the worst way. So it starts off, he says, I hope you're doing well, sir. I've been watching your channel for about 2 years now, and I've learned many things from your channel, amongst others in the manosphere. Bro, thank you very much for watching me for 2 years. I greatly appreciate your support. He says, I wish I could do what you do, but due to future plans and reputation, I cannot. I am no coward, but I must be kind of strategic in the battles I fight, and will silently support those who are on the front lines like you. Hey, dude, not everybody can go on YouTube and do shows. I mean, it is what it is, okay? I mean, most people don't, but you do your part, You watch this, you talk about these subjects with other people, educate others, help them out, and live that life. And you're doing your part. He says, I really do appreciate people like yourself who spread the knowledge and the multifacets of the modern dating scene and marriage/relationships, and place yourself in front of the torch and pitchfork mob for people who cannot voice the things which affect modern men and society. Yeah, I do get the torches and pitchforks on occasion, but it hasn't been that bad for a while. When I first started the channel, holy shit, they were coming after me left and right. A little about me, and I won't get too specific. I am 30 years old. At the time of writing this, I'm a military veteran, recovering alcoholic, and I'm going to school for my PhD in the field of psychology. I also have future plans in which I'll become a very wealthy man if all goes accordingly. Well, we all want that. So my recommendation for you is live frugal. Don't piss away your money on bullshit. Find ways to save money left and right and put that money away, invest it right, grow it, and go from there, and you'll be fine. You're 30 years old. You got plenty of time. Just be smart with your money. Don't let your emotions make you spend money on a bunch of bullshit that you don't need. And don't piss it away on women either. That'll make it go away real quick. Anyhow, he says, so maybe you can see why I have to be sort of political in the battlefields I participate in. The story I want to tell is when I was in my early 20s. I'm going to try and tell the short version without going into a lot of details for brevity's sake. I grew up in a dysfunctional home with drug abuse in the family. I was bullied, kind of neglected, and had other factors which shaped my escapism into my own addiction. I joined the military on a whim and made a horrible mistake during this time. From the age of 20 through 25 is what I like to call my 5 years of hell. I was a jerk. I was probably what you would call the bad boy. I had more relationships during this time than I have had when I became old and wise and decrepit. A joke. So he went through his bad boy phase, and to no surprise, he had women all over him. Isn't that funny how that works out? And then when you actually get your shit together and grow up and stop acting that way, then all of a sudden you're invisible. I did a story a couple weeks ago. It's a great story about this guy. He sent me his story about he was openly admitted his whole life he was not just a bad boy, but pretty much a scumbag. Those were his words. And he had women left and right. And now that he's gotten his life together, because he's like 50 years old, now he's totally invisible to them. But if he went back to his old ways, boom, they'd be attracted him like a magnet. He says, I deployed once and had a very close relationship with another soldier. We were brothers over there. We looked out for each other. I would have trusted this guy with my life. He introduced me to a woman he said I would hit it off with. I was excited to get back home. During the deployment, I had many mentors who set me on the path of sobriety and finding my purpose. I was in the beginning stages of becoming sober when I first came home. I was in shape because I worked out all the time overseas. I was also diagnosed with moderate PTSD by the VA. In my first week back, I was so desperate to sleep that I had taken a bunch of Benadryl and almost overdosed on the stuff. This gave me a panic attack, which turned into a panic disorder. I was all sort of messed up, and I finally met the woman that my friend wanted me to be introduced with. So this guy is, he's got his issues, but he's got mentors. He's trying, whenever he's trying to better themselves, there's gonna be bumps along the road, but you keep on going. But then he's introduced to this chick, and that causes some roadblocks. He says, I will refer to her as the woman, the ex, or some other derivative as not to identify details. I know this may come off as disrespectful, but please understand I'm trying to protect her identity and don't mean it to be in a demeaning sense. Dude, that's fine. She was beautiful. She also had some baggage, but in all fairness, so did I, so we hit it off. Not good. A lot of people think that if I get together with somebody else's baggage like me, then it'll be perfect. It's great they can understand and have empathy and get things, but you get somebody else that has a lot of baggage, that's just two people with baggage, and that can go in the very wrong direction real quick. He says, she had baggage, but in all fairness, so did I, and we hit it off. She was funny, quirky, nerdy, and all around fun to be with. We slept together the first night we met. There's a sign. I fell in love with her after 4 months. The last time I've done so in my life. Stupid, I know, but 99.9% of the relationships I had before were just physical and or friends with benefits. I don't know what it was about her that got to me. Maybe it was because I was sober and feeling emotions finally instead of escaping into the bottle. Who knows, but it happened. Right, it happened. You can't do anything to change it. It's going to happen to pretty much every guy at least once, and you're going to learn some things. My friend from the military was a mutual friend of ours. She told me within 2 weeks of us dating that he had been messaging her graphic things like, I guess you couldn't wait to have you-know-what until we hung out. This was in reference for the first time she and I hung out. So I came to realize she was telling him a bunch of things about our relationship and he was trying to weasel his way in. What the hell? This is his bro from the military? Find another chick. I exchanged words with him like, dude, why are you going after my girlfriend? There are so many women in the world. Why mine? I thought we were brothers. That was the nice short version because I know you have the YouTube channel to think about. Translation, he was probably F-bombing this guy left and right, which would certainly be warranted. And yeah, I have to watch what I say here on YouTube. It is what it is, so I could do the show. I was mad. I know it was not manly, but I was hurt. Dude, you can be mad, and that it's not unmanly to be mad, and it's not unmanly to be hurt. You obviously fell for this chick, and this guy was betraying you, right? Bros before, I'm going to say it, hoes, guys. No chick's worth screwing up a friendship over. This was a dude that I deployed with. We shared many intimate things like fears and emotions while we were deployed and support each other in all things. I talked with him about things that I would not have shared with anyone else. We were inseparable. So him doing this was unthinkable and I could not understand it. His words minimalized what I was feeling. And he said, and I quote verbatim, you're going to end our friendship because of some bitch? That's not the point. It's not about the girl. It's about what he's doing to this guy's girlfriend. I think all along this guy probably the hots for her, but he couldn't get her maybe at the time. And so who knows? He says, nice guy, huh? I almost lost it. Instead, I called my AA sponsor, went for a 6-mile run. He says, I never ran 6 miles, but I was that angry, and tried to relax instead of blowing up and doing something stupid. Good. Very good. I'm sure it's very tempting to go back to the bottle or something else. Run, do push-ups, call your sponsor, do whatever you got to do. Long story short, I ended the friendship with him and told her that I don't want her around him, and if she wanted to be around him, I'm not going to be in the picture. Good for you. Kick him to the curb and stand up. But also, she's telling him intimate stuff about your relationship. That's not cool either. To be honest with you, I would have been done with both of them. because he would prove that he's untrustworthy and being a dick. And she's sharing intimate stuff about your relationship. And what I tell you in the beginning about her having baggage. But the guy was in love with her, and you're going to see how when guys fall in love, what they would normally do when they were a clear sense of mind, they don't do, and problems arise. I expressed that I did not want to be controlling, and I was not upset with her, but I was learning that my own serenity was more important than a chaotic relationship. She told me she chose me over him and constantly reassured me the night we talked that she loved me. Looking back, I don't know what I did wrong in the relationship. I was not over-validating. I treat her well in the sense of respect and how I'd want to be treated. I know in all this seems to be I know in all of this, it seems that maybe I'm an angry person, but because that is the only emotion I've talked about throughout this. But if you knew me back then, you know me now that I would not, and I am a laid-back person. You said in the beginning she's got baggage, so even though you weren't like putting her on a pedestal, like kind of pretty much what you kind of hinted there, still, she's got her issues, and she's a woman. Attention and validation. Who knows? And you're going to see where this goes, guys, here. But, you know, it doesn't sound like you were being like a kiss-ass Mr. Nice Guy, but obviously it didn't matter because she's talking to the other guy. And, of course, she's promising, you know, that's it. I'm going to cut him off and all that. Well, you're going to see what happens here. It says here, I had and still have many faults, but I cannot pinpoint anything I did that caused her to lose attraction for me that you speak of about your videos. They had a long personal history and knew each other for many years before this, so they were obviously friends. I don't know if they were friends with benefits, but they were friends. He probably wanted her. I think she had feelings for him, and he just wanted to, well, you know, how some guys are. Ha ha. He could have before. One night, 2 months later, she texted me she was going to his house to watch some South Park. This is the same girl that wasn't going to have anything to do with him. Now they're getting to go watch South Park. South Park my ass. I did not see this message because I was at an AA meeting, retreat, and when I saw the message, I instantly called her. I have a good BS radar detector built from growing up in a family racked by addiction. I could tell from her voice and the words she was choosing that she was lying about something, and after lying to me and both of us playing just tell me the truth dance, she told me that he and her did things, but she stopped before she felt bad. I asked her what they did, and she told me, and I then hung up on her. See? He should have kicked her to the curb the second it got out that she was contacting his friend and all that going on. That should have been done. Both the friend, the army buddy or the military buddy, and her. Because he was in love with her, he wanted to believe her, and he stayed with her. And now she's the girl. She said earlier, I'm going to cut him off. Basically, now she's going to hang out and watch South Park. I like South Park too, but that doesn't. She can watch it at home alone. This is the time to end it with her. I was livid. I found his number and told him exactly how I felt about him and that he was a disgrace to the uniform and that he and I wore. Probably over the top, but I was irrational and emotional at the time. He just laughed. I then called her back and she was in tears saying that she was sorry. I told her that I was done with the relationship. I'm sure my roommate at the retreat thought I was insane when he came back and saw me doing push-ups on and off for 3 hours. At the time, that was my go-to healthy outlet was exercise. Again, better than the bottle. You're doing what you gotta do, man. Yeah, it's over with her, okay? Because again, she's proven a second time to be untrustworthy. This is just what you know about. And again, the guy. For the next month, I was working on myself and had a couple of relapses. I was going to the VA therapist for my PTSD and generally trying to work through all my past traumas and hang-ups. While before I could not hold a job because I was a deadbeat drunk, now I was holding a steady job as a delivery driver. Cool. Good for you. I was learning to structure my life and have healthy coping skills. I went to my first Christmas sober and kissed a girl that I'd been seeing casually for New Year's. Something I had never done before, but I saw in the movies and wanted to do it. Sappy, I know. New year, new me. Don't judge me. Ha ha. Hey, whatever, dude. You kissed her. A month after our last phone call, she calls me and tells me that she is, wait for it, pregnant. And his response should have been, paternity test. DNA test. I did not take the phone call with the news well. but after a while, I was convinced that it was mine and not my friend's. Well, how do you know? Seriously, I mean, maybe you wanted it to be yours. A lot of people that grew up in bad family situations, they're eager eventually to start their own family one day, so it's kind of like making up for what happened, and they can be the good father that they didn't have, stuff like that. So who knows? But paternity test, DNA test, something like that, especially from someone like her that's untrustworthy. She told me she only slept with him the one time, and since we had more interactions in that particular sense. Sure, she's proven so trustworthy up until this point. Just that one time, she says. I was sure it's probably mine. We talked about it, and we both decided that we can try adoption, or I said we can keep it, and I would step up. I was an idiot back then. Please forgive me. At the time, I recently became a Christian, and that influenced my thought process on this. I still hold Christian beliefs, and back then I think she was of similar faith that believed abortion to be a sin. Now, we're not going to get into politics here, so let's cut it out in the comment section. I can already imagine the typing away. I'm just repeating what he's saying here. To clear up the thought that she made the decision to keep it and convince me to stay, no. We both made the decision together. Let me just reiterate this part. They both made the decision that she was going to keep the child and have the child. And he was obviously going to be the father of the child. Let's just make that clear. It's what she said and agreed to. After calming her down, we talked logically and both agreed for adoption, or if we could move past the previous events, we would keep it and get married. I know, stupid. Smack. Yes, stupid. If indeed it was your child and she had it and you wanted to raise the child, partial custody, whatever the hell it is, okay. But get married to her who's proven disloyal and untrustworthy and her baggage. Let's go back to the beginning of the story. No. But again, you said you were young and I get it. But these are the mistakes young people make when they don't have a lot of experience. You're older and wiser now. All was well and good. I began to work to the idea that I might be a father. I began reading books and online resources on how to be a parent. I also began looking into adoption agencies. I even told my parents, who after their shock and disappointment told me that they would help support me emotionally. I denied their suggestions for financial support because it didn't feel that was right. During this time, she and I exchanged texts and phone calls for support and exchanging ideas. It was all going according to plan that we both agreed on. And then, that was until she called me and told me that she had a miscarriage. I was devastated along with her. I took a week from work. Keep in mind, I was not strong in my healthy coping skills yet, and any emotional turmoil tended to throw me into a chaotic loop. My manager was understanding. I cannot do a video without these damn sirens. On my other channel today, I did a video in the house, and it was the first time I didn't have a video alarm going off. Anyhow, my manager was understanding, told me to take all the time I needed, and that he was there if I needed anything. I was there for her, and we talked on the phone daily. My mother was a great support in this because she lost twins in her early 20s, and I was able to glean a lot from her experience. It was nice to know someone knew how I felt. 3 weeks of this go by, and then my ex calls me crying. She tells me she has something to tell me and asks me if I could come see her. Oh, great. What could this possibly be? She lived 30 minutes away, so I got in my car and picked her up. We sat in an abandoned parking lot, and I could tell she was struggling with something very heavy. What she said next still haunts me to this day, and I don't know if I will truly ever heal. She told me it was not a miscarriage. She told me that my best friend from deployment and her went to the abortion clinic and had the baby terminated without even consulting me or telling me. What the fuck? This guy truly believed this was his child. They agreed she was going to have it, and they were working towards it and do everything they got to do. And then she lied about the miscarriage, but really she had it terminated without even talking to him. That's horrible. This guy was really looking forward to being a dad, even though they weren't together and all that in the circumstances. That is seriously fucked up. I try to minimize my profanity in this channel for obvious reasons, but I think it's warranted at this moment. Dude, I'm sorry for you. She said she told me the lie that it was a miscarriage because she didn't want to hurt me. Yeah, I'm sure that was her first priority. The reason she gave for getting the abortion was because she wanted to go on a retreat and the baby would cause her not to be able to go. Unbelievable. I'm not here to discuss the merits of abortion or a woman's choice. This is a discussion for another time, as I had therapists and friends who told the story to try and steer the conversation in that direction. I really thought it was mine. What gave the dude that right? This guy's a piece of shit. And so she. At the very least, she could have told you that she didn't want to have it and talked about it or something like that. But just what she did, the pain that I felt, I still remember it all. I remember the hint of McDonald's from across the street coasting within the air. The coolness of the early spring on my cheek because I had my windows down. The gritty the feel of the steering wheel in my white knuckled hands. The tinnitus ringing in my left ear from me not wearing hearing protection during my service. The sobbing, pleading face of the woman I once loved. The heavy feel of my thick sweatshirt. The one manly tear that flexed on the way down went down my cheek. The pain, man. I cannot describe it. I can imagine, man. I felt dizzy with the emotions I was feeling. I have dealt with a lot of pain and trauma in my life, but this was a special type of pain. One that I would never wish on anyone. My pain turned to anger, and that turned to hate. I silently drove her back to her apartment and told her to get out. I watched her walk back in, and I sat there in silence for a couple seconds. I drove around the corner of the street and I parked. I then screamed till my voice gave out. I'm sure the people watching thought I was nuts. Yeah, they probably did, but you know what? Again, you didn't go back to the bottle, thank God. We had a yellow ribbon event in the next 2 weeks. This is a military reintegration program to help soldiers and families come back into society and helps put returning soldiers into healthy family dynamics and provides mental health resources. I'm glad they had these programs because they really did help. I saw my friend there, and she was with him. Imagine that. I walked over and we had a short conversation about everything that happened. They both said the words that sealed the deal on the fact that this is an event that I may not be able to get past. And they said, you don't even know if it was yours, so why are you making such a big deal out of it? I was done for. Any blue pill that I may have had was gone. They minimalized and made fun of my pain to my face. She later said she didn't feel comfortable being around me. That is fine. I can assure everyone that I never did anything that I would feel would justify in her saying that. But I think that maybe just seeing me brought back guilt within her. They both have been dating for 8 years now. More power to them. You know what? Let them have each other. Because they're both assholes. Let them have each other. They're both going to make each other miserable. You, my friend, you've gone through hell, but now you are getting your life together, as I'm obviously aware of because I've read your story before I did this video. You're coming out on top, and you're going to be on top. He says, years have gone by. I'm in school now working on a PhD. Awesome. And as, like I said, I want people to if they're going to go to school, go for things that are actually going to give you a return on your investment of the money you spend going to school and the time. Now, this guy obviously majored in psychology because he's going for a PhD in psychology. But he didn't just get a bachelor's degree in psychology and left. This guy's going on education, so he can obviously, he's going to get something out of this. And with what he's been through, he's going to be able to help a lot of people, which is really cool. That's the silver lining to going through hardships, guys, is that you gain a lot of life experience and wisdom, and then you can help people out. Believe me, I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger. A lot of things I warn you guys and tell you not to do in all the different videos I do, these are things I did because I didn't know any better. I didn't want to teach me and help me. I learned the hard way, had to go through the frustration, the suffering, the pain. But if there's any silver lining to that shit, I can do videos and help you guys out. Wherever you are in the world, and no matter how old you are, what your circumstances, I can help you guys out and maybe help you avoid that shit. That's I think, why I'm here. That's my purpose. Anyhow. He says, I am 8 to 9 years sober. Congratulations, man. I know that wasn't easy. I have solid people around me that mentor me, support me, and love me for who I am. I have hope for a better future. I also have people I'm working with who are going to bring out foundations for lucrative enterprises. I know that I'm still working through this event and others within myself with a therapist, and maybe it will never come to pass where I feel good about it. I still think about this event sometimes, and it's like a sore ache that I don't even know will ever go away. I think it may always be there, man, but I think that sore ache will become less and less and less throughout time. And perhaps talking about it and sharing the story here will be the final thing that lets it completely subside. I think I just want to let other men know that no matter what you are going through, you are not alone. If you feel pain, loss, feel like you are forgotten, you are never alone. There are people who know exactly what you're going through, and if my circumstance can help someone say, hey, this guy went through a really bad thing and he's still walking and smiling and still has hope and still can experience peace with himself, I can too. Then I wanted to share it. Love you, man. Praying for you, and I support you, brother. Stay safe, all of you. Well, man, I appreciate you sending that story. I mean, you went through a lot of shit, and I'm sorry you went through all that, but you know what? You did it. You survived, okay? Your whole life, childhood, family, all that stuff, tough times, but you survived. You made it. You pushed through it. That takes a lot of strength, okay? And a lot of people can't do that. It's a lot easier just to give up. Go back to the bottle, go back to the drugs, whatever the hell it is, you know? You kept pressing for 8 to 9 years sober. I'm proud of you, man, seriously. But one of my recommendations is just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pursuing excellence. Keep bettering yourself. You know, you want to be very wealthy one day? It can happen, man. Just, like I said, be frugal with your frugal. Don't piss away your money on BS. Save your money. Invest it. Diversify. Don't put all your money in one damn thing, you know? And don't piss it away on women, but I'm sure you'll learn that. And take all these hard lessons you learned and help you in life. And as you're getting your PhD in psychology, you're going to be able to help a lot of people, man, because you're going to have people who are going to come to you that have a lot of problems, and the fact that you've been through so much will help them, okay? You're the real deal. You're not just somebody that had an easy, smooth life, went to school, and became an academic and had academic knowledge, but no real-life experience, okay? They can help, don't get me wrong, in many ways, but somebody that's actually been through things really can help them out as well. That's my opinion on it. Some people may disagree, but I think that's it. But awesome for you. Good job. And again, guys, if you guys watching this, again, the theme of this video is, remember, bros before HOES, okay? No woman is worth doing that to your buddy, okay? A really good friend, they're rare. They are gold. So you hold on to them. It's some chick. There's 8 billion people on the planet almost, and half of them are women. You got plenty of options, okay? And, of course, female nature. And I'm so sorry about what happened again. You didn't 100% know that was your kid because you didn't take a paternity test, but you still thought it was yours. And I'm not a parent, at least I don't think I am. So I don't know what that's like, but believe me, I have plenty of empathy. So, but bro, great story. I hope you're really doing well. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.